Good morning. Welcome to the Foundry Arts Center and welcome to the Poetry Out Loud Regional Final. It is great to have you all here today. My name is Don Sanders. I'll be your MC today, and I want to welcome you to the Foundry Arts Center. This is a great space in St. Charles. I want to thank them very much for hosting us. It is a fantastic space. It's free. It's open every day except Mondays, and it's a great space for our community. We also really like the fact that we have our studio artists upstairs, and you can go through and tour if you've never done that. I would highly encourage you to do it. Some very, very talented people here, and so thank you to the Foundry Arts Center, to Melanie Sanders for putting this on for us. As I said, my name is Don Sanders. I'm a pastor at Harvester Christian Church. I'm staff development pastor. I'm also the director of the Merrill Institute, and it is a fantastic opportunity and privilege for me to be here and MC this event. I want to thank you to our supporters here, but of course especially to our student competitors for being here. Thank you all. I'm sure you're going to do a fantastic job today. Just a little bit about the event before we get started. As we said, this is the Poetry Out Loud Regional Final, and these students are going to be reading some poetry for us today, and I'm really looking forward to it. A little bit about our format. Here's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be 3 rounds. Each student will read a poem that has been selected from the cadre of poetry that were available to them. So they've chosen these selections, and they're going to be reading selections that really sort of span the genre of poetry, all sorts of types and features of poetry, and give us a wide range of that. We have judges down here that I do want to introduce our judges for us. We have Kent Sanders, we have Jane Greer and Emily Buchanan, and then Sharon Whitman is our accuracy judge as well too. So thank you all judges for helping us out today. What they're going to be looking for are several different categories of judging and evaluation. They're going to be looking for physical presence, how our students look on stage as they deliver. They're going to be looking for voice articulation, how they really project with their voice and how they really bring the poem to life with the way that they actually recite it for us. They're going to be looking for dramatic appropriateness. Sounds vague, but sort of the things that's going to be looking for is, do you really understand that poem, and can you convey that meaning, and can you show the judges and help them experience the poem as they look at it as well. And then evidence of understanding of the poem, and then of course overall performance as we look through it. So those are going to be the categories that they're going to be looking at. How we're going to proceed is each student will go through in the round. We'll do 3 rounds, 1 poem per student per round. We will ask them to come forward. They will present for us. I'll introduce the student. They will introduce their poem. And then after each student is finished, you can just have a seat. And then we'll give our judges just a few minutes to tabulate their scores. When they're ready to proceed, I'll introduce the next student. We'll go through that. At the end of our 3 rounds, we'll take about a 15-minute intermission so that we can produce the final tabulations. Then we'll come back up and announce the winners. So, you all ready? All right, here we go. So our first contestant today is going to be Anthony Johnson from Windsor High School.
I too, by Langston Hughes. I too, see America, I am the darker brother. They send me to eat in the kitchen when company comes, but I laugh, eat well, and grow strong. Tomorrow, I'll be at the table when company comes. Nobody will dare send me eat in the kitchen bed. Besides, they'll see how beautiful I am and be ashamed.
Thank you very much. So as we give our judges just a few minutes to tabulate, I'm going to do some interesting, hopefully they're interesting things up here as they're giving our judges a few minutes to look at that. When I was thinking about the idea of poetry, one of the things that really came across to me was that we are really taught poetry from a very young age as I was thinking about this. And I wanted to give you a sampling of, for me, probably the poem that I have read the most in my life is by the, Dr. Seuss. And as I was really looking through here, I remember reading this. I've probably read this book I probably can't even count the times I've read this book to my own kids and looked at those. But one of the things as we look at, I think that we learn from Dr. Seuss is just the way that language really can help us and how it really articulates and help us learn those words. And so maybe you can channel some Dr. Seuss as we go through here. So thank you very much. Our next student is going to be Elizabeth Kalin.
Domestic Situation by Ernest Hillary. Maybe you've heard about this, maybe not. A man came home and chucked his girlfriend's cat into the wood chipper. This really happened. Dinner wasn't ready on time. A lot of other little things went wrong. He spat on her father, who came out when he learned about it. He also broke her pinky, stole her checks, and got her sister pregnant. But she stood by him, stood strong through it all because she loved him. She loved him, you see, she actually said that. And then she went on to marry him. She felt some unique call. Don't try and understand what another person means by love. Don't even bother.
Thank you very much, Elizabeth. Continuing on the Dr. Seuss theme, I also wanted to say my other favorite Dr. Seuss book that really taught us a lot. Of course, The Cat in the Hat. And one of the things that I love about Seuss is interesting is I love the meter in which he does it. That you almost, even though you're reading the poetry and it's guised as a children's book, but it really is poetry, he really just, you get into this rhythm and it aids in memory. That's one of the things I really like about well-written poetry is just the meter and the pace of it and how you can get to the point where you almost sing it as you go and really helps in that memory. So we'll see if maybe, I don't think you guys are going to do Dr. Seuss, so that's all right. Maybe next time. But our third contestant we're going to have today is Amelia Trong.
Advice from La Llorona by Deborah A. Miranda. A found poem. Each grief has its unique side. Choose the one that appeals to you. Go gently. Your body needs energy to repair the amputation. Humor, phantom pain. Your brain cells are soaked with salt. Connections fail unexpectedly and often. Ask for help. Accept help. Read your grief like the daily newspaper. Headlines may have the information you need. Scream. Drop kick the garbage can across the street. Don't feel guilty if you have a good time. Don't act as if you haven't been hit by a Mack truck. Do things a little differently, but don't make a lot of changes. Rebel in contradiction. Talk to the person who died. Give her a piece of your mind. Try to touch someone at least once a day. Approach grief with determination. Pretend the finish line doesn't keep receding. Lean into the pain. You can't outrun it.
Thank you very much. You know, one of the things that I think we've already seen from our contestants up here is the power of the spoken word. And you all have done a great job with that already, that there is such a difference between reading it for yourself and hearing someone speak it. Now, as a pastor, obviously, I read the Bible a lot, and I'm reminded of one of the words from the Gospel of John that says, "In the beginning was the Word," and how the spoken word is so important to us as humans, and that there's just a distinct difference between reading it and hearing someone speak it and hearing someone interpret that for us. And you all have done a great job of that. We really, really appreciate that. And as I think about this, that's one of the things that probably that we miss in poetry a lot is when there's such a difference between reading it and hearing someone speak it. So I appreciate that you all have really brought that out to us, and we see the passion come through in that. All right, so as we look, our judges are almost finished with this round here, and so we've done with round one. And are we ready to move on? We're getting real close there. Awesome. Okay, I got the sign to just give one more minute. So as we think about that, as I was thinking about poetry that has really impacted my life, one of the things that I thought about was probably what are the poems that we have heard the most in our own personal experience. As we go through this next round, I'm actually going to share, I won't read entire selections, but I do want to read and bring out some poems that just personally have been meaningful to me, and hopefully that we'll get a chance to look at those. So, all right, so we finished round one. Good job, contestants. We're going to go through the same order again. So Anthony Johnson, you're up for round two, sir.
Let us consider by Russell Edson. Let us consider the farmer who makes a straw hat a sweetheart, or the old woman who makes a floor her son, or the young woman who has set herself the task of scraping her shadow off the wall. Let us consider the woman who wears smoked cow's tongues for shoes, and walked the meadow gathering couches in her apron, or a mirror grown dark with age that was given to a blind man who shadowed his mother, and his son should be so lost in vanity. Let us consider the man who fried roses for his dinner, whose kitchen smelled like a burning rose garden, or the man who disguised himself as a moth and ate his overcoat, and for dinner served himself and chose the door.
Thank you very much, sir. As I said, as I was thinking about poems that have really impacted me, perhaps one of the poems that I have read as a professional pastor is Psalm 23. And I think I've read that poem more often than not at a funeral. And one of the things that poetry, I think, does is poetry can really bring us comfort in times when we are emotionally distressed, when it can really speak to our soul in ways that other forms of communication just really cannot. And it's one of the things I appreciate hearing and seeing you all is that you really bring out the emotion that's in that. So thank you for doing that. All right, we're ready to move on to our second contestant in round number 2. So Elizabeth, you're up.
I Find No Peace by Sir Thomas Wyatt. I find no peace and my war is done. I fear and hope. I burn and freeze like ice. I fly above the wind, yet can I not arise? And not I have, and all the world I season, that loseth nor locketh, holdeth me in prison, and holdeth me not, yet I can stake no wise, nor letteth me live nor die in my device. Without iron I see, and without tongue I claim. I desire to perish, yet I ask help. I love another, and thus I hate myself. I feed me in sorrow and laugh in all my pain. Likewise displeaseth me both life and death, and my delight is causer of this strife.
Thank you very much. You brought up something interesting there that I think is really important about poetry, is that poetry is one of the ways that we address the deepest questions of life. And it brings up a poem that I actually wanted to read today, and this is probably a good spot, but one that has really impacted me by Stephen Crane, who wrote The Red Badge of Courage. Just says this, a short poem. He says, "If I should cast off this tattered coat, if I should go free into the mighty sky, if I should find nothing there but a vast blue, echoless, ignorant, what then?" And again, addressing the deepest needs of life of what do we do when we don't understand life. So thank you for reading poetry that addresses some of those questions again. All right, so Amelia, you're up.
Gravity Furnace by Francine J. Harris. She wants to set the house on fire. Gas in both hands, gas on the wall. It'd be like the sea scorched from its floor. She'd run like light from basement windows, or maybe suck all arms to room ablaze, so housed in gut piping the copper hollowed, reaching to a heated black rot at bottom. Like ants, maybe she'd crawl in the dark. belly, maybe she's dug out late. Lay low and beneath cave walls, lay low like coal. She might strip bare black glass, sometimes stretch, sometimes hide late. She runs from house to ember, a summer sink. She breathes through flame a room of spoons. One bar brick, one black-eyed room splatter, one torch spent for each arm. From coal to alley, she gives hue of concrete into each limb, a house of blue ring flames to mimic. Someone better run.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Amelia. You know, one of the things that I think has been really evident in your poems right there is that the poems that I think you all have chosen to share with us have really probably revealed something about yourselves. And the fact that you chose this poem because it spoke to you. And the fact that it really reveals something about us. I think that's one of the things about poetry that we probably don't think about very often, is that it reveals something about ourselves, and that in the recitation of it and even in the presentation and the emotion, that you're actually revealing to the audience a portion of yourself, and that someone else has really connected with you, and that's what makes it so powerful. So thank you all for the selections that you've given us. So we're on to round number 3. So Anthony, you're up.
One owner of The Incredible Hulk by Amy Thompson. When it comes to clothes, make an allowance for the unexpected. Be sure the spare in the trunk of your station wagon isn't in need of repair. A simple jean jacket says, hey, if you are trying to smuggle rare icon coins through this little town and kidnap a local workman, I could be working in the middle of town. And no matter how it is, smile. Saw shoulders bisexual workers. I learned the real chest also has nipples, or established. Green doesn't always mean envy. It's the meadows, clover, chicory that hold seeks for rest, or return to normal. And sometimes, when a woman goes with them, the tiny hands skirt his ruffled hair, the cousin's hand. Green is the space between water and sun, a cover for a quiet river. Each rib, shovel, drops of light.
Thank you very much. Glad to see our Marvel characters making an appearance today. So thank you very much. You know, that reminds me of one of the things that poetry, I think we probably make a distinction between poetry and music. And I was thinking about how we were actually just talking backstage a little bit about this. Some of the most prolific poets of our day are really musicians. And that they have a way of, again, you think of the songs that were most meaningful to you, perhaps that at a very formative time of your life, how the songs that we sing are really poetry set to music that just distill some of the issues, some of the struggles that we go through in life in a way that sticks with us, that we sometimes can never get out of our head, which is a good thing. So, all right, 2 more. Elizabeth, your final time is up.
Ode to the Midwest by Kevin Young. The country I come from is called the Midwest. I want to be doused in cheese and fried. I want to wander the aisles, my heart's supermarket stock high as cholesterol. I want to die wearing a sweatsuit. I want to live forever in a Christmas sweater, a teddy bear nursing off the front. I want to scrape my driveway clean myself early, before anyone's awake. That'll put them to shame. I want to see what the sun sees before it tells the snow to go. I want to be the only black person I know. I want to throw out my back and not complain about it. I want to drive 2 blocks. Why walk? I want love and stuff. I want to cut my sutures myself. I want to jog down to the river and make it my bed. I want to walk its muddy banks and make me a withdrawal. I tried jumping in, found it frozen. I'll go home, I guess, to my rooms where the moon changes and shines like television.
Thank you, Elizabeth. One of the things that just struck me about the poem that you read was, and in thinking about the selections that you all made, is that poetry, in a sense, does not define us from a genre perspective. I think you all have read, you've read and recited poems from such a wide range, and obviously you care about those different genres. And one of the things I think is great about it is that you can take some of the more traditional styles that we would consider, that traditional poetry, and then you can take very unique topics, and you can take even poems that have just really interesting visual clues and visual statements, and that it's okay to like all of them. It's okay to really look at those and say, hey, these really, I'm not defined by this one genre. This is not part of it. And I think that's one of the things about poetry that really helps us, is that it is such a complex genre that accurately reflects the complex personhood that each one of us really are. So thank you for those ranges in that. So our final contestant today will be Amelia Trong.
The Charge of the Light Brigade by Alfred Lord. Half a league, half a league, half a league onward, all in the valley of death road 600. Forward the Light Brigade, charge for the guns, he said, into the valley of death road 600. Forward the Light Brigade, was there a man dismayed? Not though the soldier knew someone had blundered. There's not to make reply, there's not to reason why, there's but to do and die. Into the valley of death road 600. Cannon to right of them, cannon to left of them, cannon in front of them. Volleyed and thundered, stormed out with shots and shells, boldly they rode and galloped the jaws of death into the mouth of hell, rode the 600. Flash all their sabers there, flash as they turned in air, sabering the gunners there, charging an army while all the world wondered. Plunged in battered smoke, right through the line they broke, tossing and rushing, reeled from the saber's stroke. Shattered and sundered. Then they rode back, but not the 600. Cannon to right of them, cannon to left of them, cannon behind them. Volleyed and thundered, stormed out with shots and shells, while horse and hero fell. They that had fought so well came through the jaws of death, back to the mouth of hell. All that was left of them, left of. When can their glory fade? Oh, the wild charge they made! All the world wondered. Honor the charge they made. Honor the Light Brigade. Noble 600.
All right, so we've completed our 3 rounds. I wanted to say thank you to each of our contestants for sharing a little bit of yourself and sharing a little bit of your soul with us this morning. Let's give them one more round of applause. You all did fantastic. All right, so we're going to take about a 15-minute break while our judges produce their final tabulations. We'll be back here in just a little bit. So thank you all very much. All right, students, stay up here.
Not over yet. It's not over yet.
All right. So again, let me just say thank you to each one of you. To do this is really, you obviously are all talented and you all enjoy doing this. But part of doing this is not just performing something. You really are sharing part of yourself with us. And that takes a lot of, I think, a lot of bravery and to do that, and a lot of self-confidence. So thank you all again. You did a fantastic job, every single one of you. And I also want to thank people that have contributed to this. First of all, your teachers. So thank you to the teachers that are here. I know you've got some of them here. And of course, your family members that are here too. So good job, family members. I appreciate that. We want to thank our judges and, of course, the Foundry Arts Center. And we also want to thank Eva, right? So thank you very much for being here. Heinerman, she is our regional, I'm going to make sure it's regional coordinator. So good job. She's really the mastermind behind it all today. So thank you very much. We appreciate all that. And, of course, our judges as well, too. So as we move forward, here's what's at stake here. The winner of today's competition gets to represent St. Charles in the state finals. That's March 12th, 2020 in Jefferson City. Then the winner of that gets to go on to the nation's capital and represent us there. So we're going to be sending someone, hopefully, farther up the chain. That'll be fantastic. So as we go through here, I'm going to start with our third place and then move forward to our, as we go. Third place, the prize for third place is a $15 gift card. So thank you very much. Our third place is Anthony Johnson. Good job. There you go. Good job. Good job. Second place, Elizabeth Kalin. Good job. Thank you very much. Thank you. And you've got a $25 gift card there. And of course, that leaves first place is Amelia Trong and a $50 gift card. Great job. Thank you. Good job. Thank you to each one of you. Good job. Thank you very much. So, one last round of applause. Good job. All right. You can have a seat. We want to thank everyone who has contributed and participated today. The day's not over, so if you've got a lunch ticket, you are welcome to stay for lunch. And if you don't have a lunch ticket, I'm sure we can figure something out to get you a lunch ticket today. So we want to thank you for that. We will be serving lunch at 12, so just a few minutes break. Congratulate our contestants and our participants on a job well done today. So thank you all for being here, and have a great rest of the day.